How many of you would like to be rich in spirit? Any more? How many of you would like to be rich in spirit? Any more? All? Sorry, you have got a wrong thing.
Rich means no, poor means you want more of the spirit.
Rich in spirit is opposite of poor in spirit.
Poor means
What does word say? Blessed are those who are poor in spirit. If you are rich in spirit, you will not be blessed. You know, I'll explain to you why. Okay, blessed are those who are poor in spirit. Now, what does this blessed? You know, this in English, this word means just it doesn't have much of a meaning. Blessed. What is blessed like? What is blessed? But in Hebrews, in Greek, you know, blessed means what? Blessed is something now. You know, it's like, you know, you have a reward. You do this, you get it right now. Blessed is like something, you know, you'll be blessed in heaven. It gives you a wrong impression. But actually, blessed means, you know, you do this thing, you get it now. Instant. Like, you know, we have got instant coffees, instant this, instant that. This is one thing that can be very instant in your life. When you do this, when you are poor in spirit. Now, what is poor in spirit? Rich in spirit is opposite of poor in spirit. Now, you may have a lot of money. You may have properties, you may have a big job, you may have a lot of things, but you are still rich in spirit. You are not poor in spirit. Why? Because richness in spirit is depending on physical, on the worldly values. Poor in spirit is the opposite of that. Poor in spirit means you are depending on only God. Riches. How now? Suppose you have got you are a crorepati, right? And cancer strikes you. What can your crores do? Can it heal you? No. But suppose you are a nilpati, you have got nothing, no money, but you stand on God. You must be on the grade, what do you call it in cancer, you have the grade last rites. But you stand on your God, that God will give you a miracle and make you out of it. That is poor in spirit. You depend on the Lord for anything and everything. Now see, I have gone through good times, I've gone through bad times. And I would prefer the bad times in my life. I'm telling you, because in the bad times, I am close to the Lord. In the bad times, I have clinged to the Lord. Now, I was holding a job in defense. I was a mess supervisor there, and everything was in my hand. What is that called? The food and beverage, the booze, the alcohol. You know, I could go in anywhere, have any meal, drink any booze. And you know, I was entitled for that when I was working for the defense. And you know, I was really, my family was there. My kids were what do you call that, conceived there, but they had a delivery in Bombay. So I was really actually floating in good times. And I was very smart and efficient in my job, and I knew that. Yeah? I was a Sunday going Catholic. And many a times I should drop my wife and my kids to the church, make them go for prayer meetings, etc., and come back on duty, because I was on a 24-hour sort of duty, because my responsibilities were high, and a part of my responsibilities was like, you know, to mingle with those the officers there, which were mainly Britishers, and so when you are in the British crowd, you have to drink, be socialized with them, or you know, they create all sorts of problems for you. So I was always there. That need not have been my lifestyle, but because, like, you know, I kept that as an excuse. I'm doing my job, and I'm telling my wife and kids, I drop into the church, come back and this thing, and go for a drink or something like that. I'm thinking that what my wife and my kids do, are praying, will affect me, or is a blessing for me. Little did I know at that time that it doesn't work that way. So, to cut a long story short, I completed about 15 years there, and I was one of the most efficient people, staff in my district, and I knew it, and everybody knew it. And I was 100% sure that, you know, nothing could happen to me. I was here, I was there, everywhere. I was on a hot spot. One fine day, I come back from a leave, and then I have an envelope on my table saying that your services are terminated after 3 months. Yeah, I got it. There was an envelope on my table saying your services are terminated after 3 months. I mean, I was in a shock. I asked my immediate this thing, but nobody, somebody played a game against me very badly, and when I have approached my contacts, internal contacts who were very good to me, these officers, they said, Neville, somebody has paid so much, and my big boss, this commander of RAFO, was out of station, and they did it during his absence. And they said they did it in such a way that there is no revoking of it, because we were under Omanization, and I was one of the main thing, and they could not break the principle of Omanization. So those 3 months, the moment I got my thing, I was shattered. I was shattered. From an efficient person, I became a, something very, very different. I was depressed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't. I started consuming more of alcohol. Yeah, and because of my, in order to get sleep, I used to drink more. So I used to get sleep for about extra sleep for about 1 hour, and then afterwards, not knowing what to do. And I was in Gala, in Lancer. So. Not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do. My wife used to call, and by that time my family had already gone. I had sent my family back home because we were expecting transfers. So my wife used to call me every time and she said, "Don't worry, I'm there for you. You're there." I used to think, "What you are there for me? Like, it's easy for you. It's easier said than done. Like, I'm the breadwinner of the family. My wife only gives tuition at home." And I said, so nothing was consoling me. In a short word, no alcohol was consoling me, no wife's love was consoling me, no kids, nothing was consoling me. I was really crazy, And in my these moods of attacks, I used to not knowing what to do. By 1 o'clock I'm awake. What to do now? And I used to go into camp, just roaming about, depressed, and the church is about 20 minutes walk from my camp. So then not knowing what to do, I used to just come walking and come to the church. Then we have got a grotto, Mother Mary there. I used to just stand and say, sometimes I used to cry, sometimes I used to not cry, sometimes I used to do, I didn't know what I was doing. And around that time, there was this group of people, boys, men and women, coming around 5 o'clock in the morning and going to the chapel. And then I used to say, what these people are doing? And just one light is on and they are praying, they are praying to this. And I said, what is this? And they are interceding. I didn't know what intercession was, I didn't know what anything was, but then later on I came to know about it. And so I used to go there, not knowing what to do, and then I used to just sit with them behind and they used to pray. I used to say, I used to think, like, I will never join whatever this prayer is, I will never join, because it's such a boring thing, like, just in front of the altar, the tabernacle, there's this thing, and one light, and they are all praying and crying and shouting to the Lord and praising the Lord. So I said, I'll never be a part of this thing. Okay, fine. So days went on and then that's the time I started taking the Bible. I used to read the Bible, nothing, it was not making any sense to me. Yeah, what I could do, I actually just read it because there was no other solace but to go. And even when I was to go to sleep, like, I was so panicking and listening, I should take the Bible and sleep on the Bible. When I slept on the Bible, I should get a little bit of sleep, good sleep. And then again I should get up and all that. So 3 months of torments. Half of Muscat had my series, and no job opportunities. So many of them said, you are highly qualified for what we want. In fact, the Royal Yacht, the Royal Yacht Club was creating a job for me, looking at what I was. They were creating a job for me, but that would have taken 3 months' time. And I had come to a stage where there was only 1 month or something left. That's the time when I had even given a letter to CV to Brother William, to check. And so to cut a long story short, by this time what happened is, as the 3 months were passing, I had given up alcohol because I was less on iron, and I was completely on this book. And by that time, I joined this group who were praying. So then they knew what was the problem, and then I found peace. I found a peace and said, "Oh, things didn't work. I'm still not jobless, but I'm finishing my term." And I could find peace, and then they used to tell me, "No, Neville, why don't you lead today?" I didn't. By that time, I knew, like, they were leading the praise, they were interceding, and they were interceding for every thing or every person in the world, like, this thing, that thing. And then I found, wow, this is a beautiful ministry. And then from that time onwards, I became a very powerful part of this intercessory ministry, which is a really tremendous ministry. There was one week left for me to leave Oman, and then. One of my colleagues, one of the prayer group members, when they had given my CV there, he said, "Neville, did you get a job?" I said, "No, not yet." He said, "Would you like to join? It's not your caliber thing, but at least," I said, "anything to keep me going, for a few months till I get a new job." So then I was interviewed by this new company. It was basically a computerized job, to do computerized things. And I was a caterer in my past job. But so anyway, because I had learned computers and all that stuff, so that helped out, and I got this job. It wasn't paying the same salary as I